Welcome to Spider-Verse Minute, the tri-weekly podcast where we watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 1 minute at a time. I'm Sean Slater.
And I'm his sister Caroline.
And today we begin with minute 79, which opens with Miles asking what's going on, and ending a minute later with Miles hanging from the ceiling.
I have titled this minute, You're Staying Here.
Yeah, this scene, the previous scene, and like the next
scene.
It's still kind of the same scene-ish, but the next group of characters that comes in, aka his dad, kind of are like just the emotional crux of the film, the emotional low point, high point. There's a lot of emotions going on.
So many.
And it really, I think this is kind of the sort of, this scene and the next scene are it can be construed as the thesis of the film.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like.
I agree. I do think this is where like the thesis of the film does come about. I think it's a little more prevalent in the next minute because it's more outright stated. Here it's just more leading up to it. It's your setup, your introduction, if you will. I don't have many notes, I will say, just because this was a weird minute. These were a few weird minutes to take notes on, just because it's both a lot going on and not a lot going on all at the same time. And it was difficult to take notes. I'm like, I'm not sure how to write a lot of this.
Yeah. So we get, in this one, we get the information that Peter has decided that Miles isn't ready and needs to stay behind, and the rest of the team agrees with him. And it's sort of saying out loud what we've observed prior to this.
Yeah, this whole idea that Miles just isn't ready. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing.
I also kind of chuckled at, like, kind of his obliviousness in the beginning. Like, he asks what's going on, and then Gwen says goodbye, and Peter says goodbye. He's like, we can say goodbye at the Collider. Like, why are we doing it now? And it was
I don't know if it's obliviousness. I think it's just straight up denial.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean.
I mean, it's denial, like, kind of wrapped in, like, he doesn't realize what's going on at first.
Yeah.
But then, like, because he pretty quickly comes around to it, like, he doesn't, his denial in this scene is a lot more anger than it is, like, not knowing what's going on kind of thing.
Definitely, yeah.
And, like, Gwen's goodbye, the two things that I really noticed is that she darts her eyes away a lot. Like, she's really good. Yeah. She's really good at the not making eye contact.
Nope.
Yeah, and like I think it's a nice kind of character trait, I guess, that she really like feels like she's letting him down, or at least the way I read it was it's her feeling like she's letting him down, and she doesn't want to, like, you know, make that, she doesn't want to see the disappointment and sadness in his face.
Yeah, it's almost like she's disappointed in herself that they couldn't really give him more of a chance.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're trapped in a corner, what do you want us to do type thing.
Yeah. And then the other thing I really like is the way she, like, crouches in the window and then jumps away.
Yeah.
But particularly, like, her pose in it is very, like, cat-like, I think. Like, it reminds me a lot of Catwoman, and the way she's, like, you know, they show her and sitting in windows before she jumps out and whatnot.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Broader superhero thing, but it always, like, I looked at that and like, oh, that looks a lot like Catwoman. I definitely feel it's reserved more for the more animal themed heroes and villains, like Catwoman. Yeah.
Like, Batman doesn't really do it. Neither does Batwoman. No. But, like, Robin did it.
Yeah, he's done it a couple times.
Robin's
I
done
think
it a few times.
it just there was it really like I don't know if it was a promo picture or like from a scene specifically from the Gotham show. But like the Selena Kyle in that one did it a lot. This is, her pre Catwoman days, but like
well, I've seen a lot of versions of Catwoman that do it as well.
Yeah, but this one, like just the way she did this one, like
Very
that image really
her.
stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Kind of yeah. That was the first version of Catwoman that jumped into my head when I saw it.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, I didn't really make any specific connection, but I did think it was a cool pose as well. And I'm like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do that.
Well, you don't want to jump out of your window onto the
Or
wall next to it?
I shouldn't pose in a window because bad things could happen. And I'm like, well, I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But gosh, do I want to do that. The only other real... Well, I have a few notes, but, you're talking about Gwen. The one thing I also noticed that, like, Miles sort of, like, kind of takes a note from Gwen's page. And when... After he grabs the goober, he goes over to get his mask. And when he passes Peter, he, like, lifts his hand so he doesn't have to look at him. And he's looking away. Did you notice that?
I did not.
Yeah, I actually got to go back. Like, he lifts his hand way before he gets to the mask. And he lifts it to, like, above his eyes. And he's not looking towards Peter either. Like, it's very much a sort of, like, a dismissive teenage, don't talk to me kind of thing.
Yeah, looking back at it, it looks more like he's, like, waving him off, like that's not a good excuse kind of hand wave.
That's sort of what I was kind of going, like...
Okay.
I've seen it go both ways, where, like, it's kind of a, like, don't look at me, waving you off, like, that. Because he's also looking away at the same time.
Yeah. But, like, right before that, he kind of, like, walks backwards to the goober because he's sort of looking back over at him. So yeah. I don't think he's completely trying to avoid contact. I think he's just, like, trying to wave off the nonsense that Peter's say. Like, he's kind of waving it as, like, that's nonsense. Like, say the real reason. There's two great reactions that Miles had that I really enjoyed. The first being when when Peter asks Miles for the goober and he sticks his hand out, Miles just has this faint little, like, shoulder turn back, and he's sort of backing away, like, no, you're not going to take this from me. And then Peter makes a little step forward, like, after he asks for it more, and Miles has another little, like, defensive move back, of him not wanting to take it from him. And then the second is right after that, and Peter tells him that he was the one that, like, it was his decision, and Miles just has this, like, look of shock on his face, and then, like, turns his head and does that little head nod, like, I can't believe you'd betray me like this.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That look hurt.
Yeah, that was definitely a, like, real look of, like, you could feel his pain in that.
I think what makes this whole scene worse, and what makes all of these expressions hurt even more, is the fact that we've been with these two the longest. We've seen their relationship grow and change the most. So seeing this is just heartbreaking. Yeah.
I really like his Miles's outburst of just, like, he's got to make Kingpin pay.
Yeah.
And he's got to let him.
Yeah.
Like, let me make him pay.
Yeah, it's like Kingpin. Kingpin. The whole, like, I love the progression of it. It's like, Kingpin has to pay. You've got to let me make him pay. Let me make him pay. Like, it's very much a pleading.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like Miles knew Peter was gonna say, like, we'll make him pay for you, in a way. But he's like, no, you have to let me do it.
And I kind of, watching through this for these minutes, realized that he's not, like, when he was saying that, it kind of just realized, maybe not the first time, but I realized that he wasn't talking about Peter when he said make him pay, but he was talking about his uncle.
Yeah.
Like, even though that just happened, I kind of forgot that's why his uncle died.
I feel like it's a
just
mix.
Too many emotions.
Yeah, I feel like it's such like the straw that breaks the camel's back type thing. Of course, this is bigger than a straw. This is the anvil that breaks the camel even more.
Yeah.
Type thing, because I feel like he's talking about his uncle, and I feel like he might also be talking a little bit about Peter's universe, or like his universes.
Just Peter, yeah.
Thank you. Oh my god.
I think it's like 90%.
Oh, I definitely think it's mostly
99%.
his uncle. But I feel like the other Peter is also in this as well, because Kingpin also did that.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. It took me. I feel like when I first watched it, I probably picked up on that, but that was so long ago that I kind of forgot. And then, as the first time I watched through it, taking the notes, I was like, well, yeah, he's talking about Peter, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, he's totally talking about his uncle.
I always realized he was talking about his uncle. This is really the first time I'm like, oh, he might also be talking about Peter in this case.
Yeah.
It's just that sort of conglomeration.
Yeah, and I think part of it too is at this point, it's kind of Miles is very I want to say Miles feels very revenge focused.
Yeah, it definitely is that sort of feel of like he's doing this for revenge, not because what it's right.
And not for it's a selfish reason for helping.
Yeah.
He's doing it for himself and not to help the others get back to their worlds, and he kind of needs to
cool down.
Change that mindset. There's still the revenge bit in there, especially when we see that final battle.
Yeah.
But I think it's he does it more for less selfish reasons, and that's why he's able to it's eventually get
the
around
revenge
to using his
still
powers.
needs to be there, but it's also Kingpin needs to be stopped as well.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to talk on is the billboard scene that got cut a couple minutes ago, or from a couple minutes ago. This is another spot where they inserted some of the bits from that, right. Specifically the talking about MJ in this part, and then there's another in the next minute that he gets from that, and just talking about how the not everything works out was kind of covered in that billboard scene.
Yeah, it works better in this scene.
Yeah.
As much as a billboard scene would have been cool, it works a lot better in this scene.
Yeah, I think as cool as that scene was, this one, it was easier to move that information to other parts of the movie.
Oh, definitely. And they definitely hold more emotional weight in these parts than I think they did at the billboard scene.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add?
The very last thing I have that I noticed was that Peter's got a nice booty.
Okay. I'm so glad I wasn't the only one who thought that. I'm also gonna be should I bring it up in this minute? This is kind of a serious minute. But yeah, no,
yeah, we'll save it for last. I noticed when he stood up, I'm like, wow, that is a very tight, he's got very tight spandex on, and it's very defined. And then I also noticed, his belly's pretty much gone at this point. It's back to a normal looking side. He's got no more beer gut.
Yeah. It's because he hasn't been able to have beer in a while.
Probably hasn't been. She's probably only had 1 or 2 meals in the past 2 days, 3 days.
That's honestly probably true. Very true.
Aunt May probably fed them, and then he probably had the burgers the morning before, so he's just burning off all that fat now.
That's exactly what it is, actually. But no, I thought the exact same thing. I noticed it when he was sitting on the desk. I'm like, God, he's got a nice butt.
Yeah.
much lighter note.
that was everything I had.
Yeah, that's all I have as well. Thank you all for listening, and we will catch you next time with Minute 80 on Wednesday. See you then. Thanks for listening.
Bye.